Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander. I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. My co-host, Kelly. Are you there, Kelly?
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Okay,
Hi.
great. And we have my other co-host, Barbara. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Good. Now, let me, our guest today is Pardis Partrow. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, it's pardis partrow. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now I understand that you know, the reason I chose this subject is that it's usually a very positive subject, and also, you know, you have some insight on how to contact angels and get a hold of them. Is that correct?
Yes, I do actually.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I bring that up, and I normally we wouldn't be taking calls this early in the show, but this person is one of Barbara's close friends, as well as everyone's friend on the show. And if you'd like, I'd like for her to put her on. Is that okay?
That's totally fine. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Robin, you're on the air.
I
Hi,
am
Robin.
here. Hello.
Hi, Robin.
It's so nice to meet you. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
She was on the phone with me earlier, and I told her about the show, and, you know, a few days ago she really wanted it, so I figured it would be okay to just, you know, bring her on, you know.
That's great.
You had a question, Robin?
I do. So, Paradise, I don't know anything about angels yet, so I'm looking forward to listening to the rest of the show to hear more. But everybody on the show knows that I've been going through trying to help heal my dog's side pipe, a little basset hound who's only 8 years old, who has a huge tumor, cancerous tumor right now. And one day, last Wednesday, when I was leaving for work, maybe 2 Wednesdays ago, sorry, I was leaving for work. I went to kiss her goodbye. It was the day that she was going in for her CT scan, and she was really in bad shape. And when I went to kiss her goodbye, I kissed her back, and when I tried to just stand up, there was almost like this suction. And I saw these 3 descending green orbs, and I go over this over and over in my head the last couple of weeks. Did I just look into a light bulb, and it wasn't. And when I finally kind of pulled off of her like a section, I went into the hallway and was like, "Holy crap, what was that?" I said a different word. Went into my bathroom, and I realized I had to sit down for a minute. I was just going to leave for work, and I had chills all over, and I burst into tears. And the only experience I've had with the crying like that, where it wasn't me, was one time when I was hypnotized. So I got onto Google, and I said green orbs, chills, and it said Archangel Raphael, which I know nothing about. And I just wanted to see what your thoughts are, because I keep chewing on it. Like, am I making this up in my head? Is this my ego? What really happened? And, you know, if you could just put me in the right direction to learn more. I've been listening to an angel book, but it hasn't really gone into it that much yet. So, yeah, and how to communicate and get more out of that if I really did contact somebody or they contacted me.
Right. So Archangel Raphael is an archangel that is representative of healing energy. But, you know, let's talk about what an archangel is. So each of us has our own guide, and some of us have more than one that are here to help us in this journey of life. Now, there are angels that are different, have different ranks. And so we have our personal ones, and then there are those archangels that they call them, which are gifted with certain specific modalities, or you could say healing capacities. So, for instance, Archangel Michael is for protection. And then, for instance, Jophiel, Archangel Jophiel helps to beautify your thoughts. And then, as you just mentioned, Archangel Raphael, and he's for healing. And these angels, these specific kind of archangels, they have the capacity to help many people simultaneously. They're not assigned to one person. So that's the beauty of these archangels. And the wonderful thing is that it sounds like from what you experienced was that the green lights that you saw and the emotions that you felt, it seems as if you felt the presence of Archangel Raphael that was here to help your puppy. So, so that's basically. I mean, that's what it is. It sounds like you have a sighting, a visit. Now, if you wanted to feel more from Archangel Raphael, what I recommend is meditating. The best thing you can do is focusing on your breath, trying to get as relaxed as much as you can, maybe listening to soothing music, and in your mind, call to Archangel Raphael and ask him to give you a sign that he is with you. Now, when I work with clients one-on-one and they want to connect to an angel, a direct angel, like a guide or an archangel, I actually go in a little bit in more depth with them. And what I do is first I initially help them clear blockages in their body, and we work through color and breath work. And then after that, then once those blockages are clear, which actually sometimes can be tied to past lives, which then the client will see for themselves, will feel for themselves. And then once we clear all of that, then I take the client on a journey where I have them envision a garden and go down a path and then go to a tree. And then I have them in the tree, sit in a room and ask for a guide to come to them. And sometimes it is an archangel, or I ask them to connect with an archangel. Now, when I do this in group settings, I just so happen to be doing in Brooklyn archangel group journey meditation Sunday, May 19th at Grand Street Healing, which is in Williamsburg, in the afternoon. And when I do something like that in a group setting, we don't go as in depth as clearing blockages. It's more an opportunity to just go straight to the journeying piece and feeling the angels, the archangels specifically. And sometimes what I'll do is, instead of having the person journey to then open themselves to the possibility of any archangel, I will specifically work with 4. And I will say, okay, now comes Archangel Michael, and then you'll get an idea of what it feels like when Archangel Michael comes to you. And then I'll say, okay, now is Archangel Raphael, and then you'll get an idea how he might come to you. Because for some people, like yourself, you saw, but for other people, they might feel a tingling sensation. They might feel warmth around them. They might hear, actually. So a different sense will come to them to allow them to know that the energy of an archangel or an angel is with them. Does that help at all?
It does. Yeah, I'm taking notes rapidly. So the other day I was lying with her, and I did try to close my eyes and meditate a little bit. And my question then is, because my brain was thinking, this isn't good, because she's just been moping around, really depressed. And so I was, questioning whether we should have her go through a second radiation session. And so a voice did come to my head, and everything, it was telling me everything's going to be okay, which was the opposite of my conscious thought. And tomorrow will be better. But when you are meditating, and so I did feel better, but when you are meditating, how do you know it's not your ego trying to make things happen? You know what I mean?
Sure, but oftentimes the way that you're able to distinguish it's you making it up versus something else is oftentimes it will be accompanied by a physical sensation. And also you will see and feel a shift in your mood in a much easier way than you could even try on your own time. So oftentimes that's how you'll know. And, I think that if we're upset, it's very rare that our own mind will be able to tell us the right things to get us to shift right away. That's just the way it is. I mean, you might hear those things, but it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to take it in. But it sounds like what you experienced was definitely something external because it felt like there was a palpable change in the energy that you were feeling around yourself and within. And that's another sign as well.
And so would that be I'm not necessarily communicating with angels, but maybe just my higher self? Or how do you, when you're meditating, what is your anticipation or goal of who you're going to hear from? And, are you just open to anything? And most often it's your higher self?
It's so personal as to what you're going to want and allow. But yes, sometimes it will be just your higher self. But I feel like it often is an external divine energy because when that happens, it's accompanied with something else. It's not just a voice. There's usually an additional indication of warmth or a mood shift or an energy shift or like a healing takes place. And that's, even though our higher selves are very nurturing and healing and it's able to tell us so many wonderful, wise things, I can't help but sense that, in your situation, you definitely experienced something. And it does sound like you have the capacity to connect and feel things maybe more than the average person because you saw those green lights and because you also have experienced hearing of things, what they call as clairaudience. And oftentimes these kind of abilities can amplify and come to fruition or become more apparent when we're going through a hard time, when we're going through some kind of suffering. We tend to be actually more open. And that's when we tend to receive more. So it sounds like that's what's happening with you.
That's amazing, Robin, that you felt that and saw that. That is real, what you felt and saw. What could she do with this, what she saw, though? Could you give any more information to her about what to do with this information?
Well, I just feel like as if this is something to celebrate and be happy that that your loved one, your precious basset hound is receiving help, and that you are as well, because through this process you're getting information and receiving healing, and it sounds like this is an opportunity for you to have more faith and to believe that what you heard and what you felt is true, and that things are going to get better and that you're going to be okay.
So it can give
it is this emotional roller coaster because when you put your doggie through this, I don't know if we're doing the right thing or if we're stringing her along, but it is kind of a day-by-day thing where we're just hanging out, but I've only had those two experiences in about 2.5 weeks when I've been trying meditation a lot. There have been these two experiences that definitely stand out as feeling different.
Yeah, and what I recommend is that you keep on looking for signs and continue with the meditation, because I feel like your gifts are going to be expanding and you're going to be receiving more information and you're going to be told more of what to do. I'm not feeling like it's my place to tell you today what to do. What I'm being told to tell you is that it's actually part of your journey to go through this process to get more in touch with your capacities, your gifts, your abilities. And it's through this time with your dog that it's almost like the universe is like, okay, now that she's going through this is a perfect opportunity since she's so open and she's so wanting the answers that we're going to work with her more than ever on a one-to-one basis to allow her to receive the information that she needs and to learn more about her own gifts. Because so many of us actually have the capacity to connect, but we just don't give it the time, and we don't give it the focus. And this has been a perfect time for you. As much as it's been a hard time, it's also been a blessing because it's allowing you to really go in deeper than you ever have before and pay attention to these signs in a way that you maybe weren't as motivated to.
Yeah, and my dreams have been crazy vivid too. I mean, they're definitely different than I've ever experienced. And so I did on the morning that happened, I called two people who I know are very religious and asked them what they know about angels. And they, I guess it's not the same in the different religions. So I got the book called Communing with the Divine by Barbara Martin and Demetrius Moratis. And so I've been listening to that, and one of the quotes that has really stuck with me, because I do feel a little Looney Tunes every once in a while with all of this, but he said something about if you are too logical and scientific, then you don't grow. If you're too metaphysical and over on that end of the spectrum, then it's lunacy. But if you can combine the logic of science with the metaphysical, that's where you really, that's kind of the sweet spot. And I just paraphrase that my own way, but it's really stuck with me that we have to be open to all of this because it is logical in a way.
Yes. And I'm really glad that you said that there really needs to be a marriage between the two, because a lot of people are either very linear, logical, or there's other people I admit that I come across that are way out there. And it's like, oh, come on, we really want to have, a bit of both, and because it allows us to be able to implement whatever the signs are that we get into doing something about it. It's like that joke where the guy sits on the roof and a helicopter comes to save him because there's a big flood coming. And he says, no, I'm fine. I'm waiting for God. And then a boat comes and says, we're here to save you. No, I'm fine. I'm waiting for God. And then he drowns. And then when he gets to heaven, he says to God, what happened? I was waiting for you. He said, who do you think sent the helicopter? And who do you think sent the boat? He's like, I did.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're expecting things to be too woo-woo and too out there, then you're not going to get it either. So it's great to have both and to be practical and ask for the signs. How is your dog feeling now?
Well, she goes for her second round of radiation, and yesterday up until about 6 p.m., she was not doing well, and so I called the vet, and then, of course, right when I got home 5 minutes after that phone call, she came running up to me wagging her tail, which she hasn't done in 5 days. So, of course, I make the phone call and alert the vet, and then she's good, and she's eating today, and she's happier. And so we'll do radiation tomorrow and see in a couple days. She'll probably feel lousy. But, yeah, we're just kind of appreciating the time we have with her now because we feel like we're on borrowed time a little bit, and we're just enjoying her as much as we can, but don't want to torture her because, we want her around. So,
right, and you don't.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Sometimes the treatment can be harder. What I recommend in the future also, if you can, is you can find someone who does Reiki. Reiki is a really wonderful form of healing, and a lot of animals like it, and that might help your puppy during this time while she's going through this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Robin?
I do. Well, we didn't. The weekend that I actually had a Reiki appointment set up for her, the guy was going to meet us in our van on this little island. It was so sweet. He's a total hippie, retired veterinarian. But she was in really bad shape that weekend, and we thought that the stress of that, we thought it might be our last weekend. And now if we start to see her health perk up, I definitely want to get back in touch with him. So, and then Kelly had done help. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, see if they can come to the home. A lot of times, it's better the practitioner, if they can, to come to the house so that the animal's not being shuttled anywhere, and it's less intimidating or stressful for them.
Well, it's making me realize, too, that I really need to get trained in stuff like that. Barbara and I were actually talking about that because, this may be the prerequisite or kind of warming us up for how are we going to heal our loved ones if something goes down in the future. And right now I'm feeling so unskilled. And so this is an opportunity for me to recognize that I need to get these skills and I need to become a healer, a trained healer in some way, capacity.
Yes. I think that's a really great idea. I mean, I know that one of the biggest things that I talk about in my practice is, if you're any kind of mom, whether it's for a child or for, I call them fur babies, it's like, it's really helpful to have this modality of healing, such as Reiki or a modality, to be able to help your child. I know that my son, he sometimes asks me to give him Reiki because he just knows it's going to help shift things for him and help maybe his stomach or if he has congestion or if he's just not able to sleep or whatever it is that he's going through. And it helps so much when you maybe aren't able to get to the doctor because it's so late at night or too early in the morning, and you're able to just do something from home. So yeah, I do recommend getting trained. I really do.
Yeah, yes, I think it's really important.
Robin, do you think of this as like a gift from Side Pipe, that she is opening you up so much to this spirituality? It's really, you can look at it as a gift from Side Pipe.
I absolutely do.
You do?
Yeah. I feel that definitely. I'm very grateful for this experience. And, when people have the whole campaign of F you cancer, I've actually said, thank you, cancer, because I know that this experience is going to make me stronger and more prepared for the future. So,
wow.
Well, they say that.
Positive. I have.
They say, yeah, go ahead, Jonathan. Yeah.
Robin, you can stay on, but we have somebody else that's calling in, and I was just saying, if Robin wants, she can stay on. She's a friend of the show, but I wanted to let this person in. Is that okay with you, Robin?
Oh, absolutely. I'm grateful for the time you guys gave me. Thank you so much.
Okay, you stay on. You can stay on as long as you can stay on for the show. We're just gonna put this person on. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, 804. You're on the air.
Hi, good evening. My name is Hugh. I'm calling from Virginia. Thank you for taking my call. I've had quite a bizarre life. I've been tested and have been through many negative things. I've had UFO, paranormal, and near-death experiences with ongoing paranormal, too. And I feel a divine protection. I don't know if that's through angels or if it's through how I resonate with Jesus Christ. And my wife, I was married 35 and a half years. I call her a total earth angel. I don't know how God blessed me with such a wonderful woman. She passed in January of 2007, and a month and a half after she passed, I almost died. And it disabled me, and then in looking over my life, I said, wow, who is this guy? I have to keep pinching myself because of all the bizarre stuff that I have. If I can share a big website, it might be very interesting for you to look over. I even have quantum entanglements with President Trump. I'm not into the ego, though, like he is, and I have bizarre synchronicities throughout my entire life.
So, Hugh, do you have a question?
Well, if you do readings, or do you know if I have special angels? Is it all right to call upon angels? I, again, resonate with Jesus Christ, so that's where I focus everything and put it in his hands.
So, Yeah, everybody has at least one guide, one guardian angel, and I do believe that there are deities such as Jesus Christ or even the Prophet Muhammad or even in the Asian cultures they have Kuan Yin, and I do believe that those energies can very much be with people. And I feel like they can come in and work with people and help them and support them in their times of need. So if you do feel like you've had energies with you that have been there with you and have supported you that are beyond your guides, then I would trust that. But definitely you have guides, we all do, and that I am confident that if you felt something that was positive and loving and supportive and nurturing, then it indeed definitely was one of your guides, if not one of the deities that we discussed, such as Jesus Christ. He does often come to those who do believe him, and he can make himself known. I've had people on my table see Jesus come to them when they've needed the help, and it's quite profound and magical. I did have one woman one time actually who was Catholic, so we called in Jesus and he didn't show up. So I said, okay, I guess we'll try someone else. We'll try the Prophet Muhammad. And it was so funny because in the Muslim religion, at least for the majority of those who practice it, they don't have pictures up like Jesus. So she said to me, she's like, I don't know what he looks like. And I said, I don't either. But I said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to imagine a man who has something on his head and a robe. And then she said, as soon as I said that, she goes, oh my God, he's here and he has a beard. And I was like, okay, great. And then he came and he helped her. And I asked my client to ask him, why did you come and not Jesus? And he said he came, it was through me, because in my lineage, it's the Muslim faith. So he said to her, because she was able to see him and feel him. I could feel him, but she's the one going into the deep meditative state. But she was the one who was conversing with him and was able to tell me that he was there based on my history and my lineage. But I do believe that they can come to people and that people have experienced them supporting them and loving them, and that if you have felt something with you, then you definitely have. I do feel like you have at least 3 guides with you, but there's always one who is like your spokesperson, who is the person who will be the most commonly in touch with you and in contact with you. And if you wanted, you could also, like I had discussed with Robin, take some time to meditate, even pray, and get into a relaxed state and ask them to show themselves to you. And if you are open and you're relaxed and you don't have any blockages, they will come to you. They will present themselves to you. They will introduce themselves to you. They might even tell you, you and I know each other from a past life. Or they might say to you, I have been with you for many lifetimes watching over you. So if you give yourself the time and the space to connect, and sometimes it's practice, but eventually you can connect with your guides and you will see them and feel them.
That's very insightful. Thank you very much. And
You're welcome.
I look at my life like the poem Footprints in the Sand when I have the difficult situations. If my faith is strong enough, I can see my way through anything.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I'm sure she's with you for sure. When we have loved ones who've crossed over, they are they're still with us. They don't disappear. Just they're not in body, but their soul and spirit is still with us. And I'm sure she's definitely watching over you and there for you when you need her.
All right. Well, I thank you so much again. I'll let you move on, but very interesting Thank you. God bless.
You're welcome.
Now,
Bye-bye.
I wanted to give a chance. Kelly, are you there, Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay. You haven't had a chance to really speak up yet. I was wanting to know what your thoughts are on all this, including you, Barbara, if you've had any thoughts to all this, especially the stuff we've discussed here.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay, thank you. For me, this all makes sense. Like intuitively speaking, it's all resonating. Now, do you believe in like distance healing, like chakra cleansing or distance Reiki, things like that? Are they as effective as like being right next to the person or animal or whatever plant you're working with?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, sometimes it can be more powerful because the person's sometimes it can just be more powerful because there isn't other energies that are interfering. Sometimes when you're, when you're face to face with someone, sometimes there's resistance, there's tremendous fear or anxiety, and that can get in the way. But whenever you learn Reiki too, actually, the distance healing component is there. And as a matter of fact, for animals, the way that I was taught is that you really shouldn't try to put your hands on an animal when giving Reiki. You really want to put the energy in the air or in the space so that it can go to the animal, because Reiki can sometimes be very powerful and too much for them to handle. And so you want to just sit in a room and put the energy out, and then oftentimes if the animal wanting it, they can come close to you. This is, also known with horses as well as cats and dogs. So I very much do believe in distance healing, and I very much do believe that they can, it can work even if the person's not next to you.
Well, that explains one of my situations. I had an animal that was injured, and I noticed that when, it was after, vets were closed and everything, but I noticed that when I was more hands-on, it would have more excitement, and almost like it was detrimental to the animal trying to, survive and put the energy, like it ramped them up, and I didn't think that was very good. So, it did work better if I was just in the room. Now, do you, I call it chakra cleansing, and I've had, training with that, but I wonder how related to Reiki it really is, that I have not had any, formal Reiki training, but, I can do, healing without doing chakras. Do you pick up anything on me, or as far as like, would that help me to take it? Or I know the easy answer would be yes, but is it necessary?
Okay, so this is what I'm getting actually. What I'm getting, and your name is Lisa? Is that your name?
I'm Kelly.
Kelly, okay. I'm not great with names, I have to tell you. It's like, you could tell me your name in 5 minutes, and I still would be like, really? Okay. So Kelly, what I'm being told is that you actually have a natural gift for healing, and it comes to you very naturally, and you may be someone, I don't know if you just said this or not, but I'm almost getting the feeling as if you're someone who, without even having formal training, you may have been someone who has been able to ease people and to channel some kind of calming and healing through your hands. And I do feel like you've had a past life as a healer. As a matter of fact, what I'm hearing is that you've had several lifetimes as a healer. And this comes very natural to you, and it would make you very happy if you were to pursue Reiki, because Reiki can then open you up for other things. I joke about how Reiki is like the gateway drug. It's like once you start getting attuned to Reiki, your gifts will expand, and then you might be like, oh my gosh, I think I can do readings. Oh my goodness, I think I can, maybe train and learn mediumship. I can do this, I can do that. So I'm a big proponent of Reiki. I feel like it's a very powerful healing modality. There are many others that are amazing as well, but I'm someone who had a lot of life changes, especially once I started receiving Reiki and I started to learn it, and even now I teach it. And so I definitely recommend it, and I feel like you would get a lot out of it for sure. And you can even learn it. It sounds crazy, but there's some people who can even teach it and attune you at a distance. Which some people don't think you can. Some people feel like, if you really want to do it properly, you should be in front of the person for them to attune you. But there are some people who have the school of thought that it does work to even be attuned. Like, it sounds crazy, but I actually did work with a student of mine, and she did take Reiki from me, and we did it via Zoom. And so I attuned her that way. And she was in Portland, and I'm in New York, and she seems to be very happy. So it can work. Yeah. And I happen to be teaching Reiki again on Saturday, June the 8th. So you can look at my site and at pardis.partrow.com, see if you're interested. And if not, then find somebody in your area and see if you can work with them.
Okay. When you teach your class, do you do it distance as well, or do you have to be in New York?
No, I do distance as well. It's dependent on who signs up. So, for instance, like I just shared, I had a student who was in my healer program, because I do believe that we need more healers out there. So I have a program that helps healers to get out there more. And she wanted to learn Reiki, so she joined the class via Zoom, which is like a different version of Skype. Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool. I'll check into that, and I'll check locally and see which that I can afford, but I'd really like to pursue that. Thank you.
Yeah, and definitely meditate and see which resonates with you. Again, this could be an opportunity for you to go within and ask yourself, well, who should I work with? And sometimes you'll get the signs.
Oh, cool.
Is it okay if we take a caller? This is a friend of the show as well. Are you okay with that?
Okay. Yep,
I am.
Okay. Give me 1 second. And Robin, you stay on. Again.
Okay.
We're not getting ready yet.
I'm taking lots of notes. I'm good.
Sandy.
Oh, good.
Sandy.
Hi.
Hey,
okay,
hi.
Sandy. Hi. Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hi.
You?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I have a question. Speaking of afterlife, and I'm just wondering, my dad, I was very close to my dad, and I feel him, I see him. Matter of fact, 2 days ago, I asked him for something, and it came through.
Amazing. Now, let me ask you this. Did he have a very good sense of humor?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like he's a very funny man. I also feel like he's quick. I feel like also he's no nonsense. I feel like you did say you have a very strong, very close to him. I feel like it's almost like you were his little shadow when you were growing up. And did you play sports with him at all? Did you ever, you usually see the boy doing this kind of thing, but I almost feel like, I don't know, I see you maybe playing catch or something. Did you ever do anything with him outside as a child?
I did. Yep, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. He's showing me that. So I do feel his presence, and I do feel like he's with us right now. Is there anything particular you want me to ask, or you want to ask to him or me or anything?
He was my best friend. He died so young.
And fast. I think it was sudden. It felt like it was sudden.
Really,
it was a shock. With a shock, right?
Yeah.
It was so unexpected. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
But it's been 18 years, and I feel like every time I ask him for something, he's right there. And I always see this 1111. I always see the numbers 1111 when I associate things with him, and butterflies.
Yeah, butterflies are very common for loved ones to communicate with you, to let you know that they're with you. I get a sense that it's important that you know that your time apart from him is limited in the whole scheme of the way that life works, and that you will see him again once your time here has ended, and that oftentimes we do lose people suddenly, or sometimes, earlier than we think that we should. However, from what I know and what I've studied is that there is a divine orchestration, a purpose for this behind it, and that sometimes we do need to be apart from that connected soul in our lives for us to further our own growth and to expand into stronger individuals, or create more independence, or have a higher understanding of ourselves. So I do see that the two of you were very connected. I actually feel like you have had several lifetimes with your father, but I do feel like in this lifetime he was not supposed to stay any longer than he did, so that you would be in a position to find out more about your life and find more love on your own. It sounds so crazy, but it's almost like what I'm being told is that if he had stayed in your life, you would have not done the things that you've done in your life so far. And not only that, you may not have ever really allowed yourself to love in the way that you can if he was still around. It's like you would never, ever be able to find anyone in comparison. And so there's an opportunity for you with his transitioning over to experience more in life.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. All right. He was like my other half.
Yeah.
I'm 18 years.
It's all this noise.
Love him, Yeah.
It sounds like the best thing that you could do.
Is he watching over my boys?
He is watching over your boys, but he's mostly, I feel like he's with you a lot. And what I sense is that he's wanting you to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you're doing the best that you can for yourself to make sure that you are more balanced and that you're doing things that are for your best well-being. That's the sense that I'm getting.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Well, thank you so much. I hope that was some help to you, Sandy.
It is. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Do you, I have a question. I mean, when there was one time, I think it was, there was talking about an FBI call, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with this case, where this lady fainted and she passed out. And what happened was that they were talking to this 5-year-old girl who answered the phone, 5-year-old. And the 5-year-old girl says, well, what's going on there? Well, there's this funny man here. And, you know, of course, when you first hear that, you think, funny man, oh, my God, she's in danger. But then as you go on, you begin to realize, well, this funny man isn't hurting her, and he won't talk on the phone, but he's a funny man. And what they came to, the conclusion that they came later on was that this funny man was an angel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because he was sort of, I mean, he wasn't hurting her, and it wasn't anything bad or anything, you know. But you understand what I'm saying, right? It just...
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, I do believe that that's very possible. I have a girlfriend who was in 9/11, and there were two firms that got hit the most, and one of them was like Sandler O'Neill. Anyway, so when she was at work, she had told me how something in her gut told her to leave her desk. And meanwhile, there were announcements over the PA telling people not to leave. That's why most of the people didn't make it, actually. So she ran out, grabbed maybe like 1-2 items, not even her driver's license, and she just like ran. And she said that when she was going down the stairs, there was this guy who was with her. And she said that he was wearing jeans and a T-shirt. Now, in the Wall Street area, you're not going to find people dressed like that. But if they're going to wear anything besides a suit, back in, you know, when 9/11 happened, which is a more conservative time where people were expected to dress more professionally than now, they might be in a custodian outfit, but they were not going to be in jeans and a T-shirt. She said that I had this guy helping me down those stairs, right? And we're talking a lot of stairs. It was like 100 and some flights. So she said that the crazy thing was that he helped me. We got out of the building, and when I turned around to thank him, he was gone. Like, I mean, she said it was like, it wasn't even like he was walking away somewhere. It's like evaporated. He was gone. And then she ran to where her sister worked. And, you know, and at that point in time while she was leaving the building, that's when the building came down. But she has said that that was an angel that was with her. She's so clear of it because he helped her and supported her, because going down those stairs, it's very challenging. And it was very frightening. So I do believe that people can have visitations and they can have angels come. And
okay, I want your opinion on this situation, because after Kelly did my chakras, Kelly, you know the story, right?
Say that again, Dr. Kelly, what?
The story, Kelly, after Kelly did my chakras the first time, you know what I'm talking about, right, Kelly, the story?
Yeah.
This lady pulls up to me on the street, and she walks right up to me. She goes, "You look like you could use some extra money here." And she hands me $3. Then she gets in her car and she drives away. Well, what shocked me was the idea that she did all that, you know, something that's not that safe to do, you know.
Right.
But I looked at that lady, and I remember starting to think a little bit of weird stuff about her. Like, once she reminded me of my grandmother. Sort of like, you know, sort of but a young version of my grandmother. My grandmother was a very staunch Southern Baptist. What's your take on that event?
Let me see. Was that a visit from an angel? You know what I'm being told? I'm going to be honest with you, that sometimes angels work through people. I'm not getting clearly that really was an angel. What I am feeling is that was someone who was working on an angel's behalf. So sometimes people are motivated by the spirit world to do things as an angel, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's really an angel. That's my take on it.
Okay. Do you think my grandmother had something to do with it?
Yes, I do. I do. I feel that.
Well, how so?
How so? I feel like...
Yes.
How is it that our grandmother went in? Did your grandmother like to give you money? Did she ever do that for
No,
you when you were a child?
No, my grandmother. Okay, let me explain to you why it reminded me of my grandmother.
Yeah, because I feel like this is something that she wanted to do for you. This is the feeling that I got. That's what I get.
Well,
but I don't feel like it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
My grandmother, my mom wrote a book, okay, about my grandmother, and she gave it to all the family members, and when I was born or when I was young, my grandmother had a stroke, so her brain tumor. So what happened was she never really talked normally. It was always except when she was talking the Bible, because she had done that her whole life. She had verses memorized. But if you try to talk to her, she's like, yes,
right, she
yes.
stuttered. Right.
Well, see, what happened was that Mom, in the back of the book, had a picture of what we called Nanny. We called her Nanny. And she was about 40 or 50 or something. And it was her at a young age. Well, when I saw that lady, I immediately thought of the back of the book that Mom.
Interesting.
That's why I say it looks like Nanny, but young, sort of like not an old lady, but like I would say about a 45-year-old Nanny.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you feel, then that's what you feel. I'm going to be honest. I don't. When I ask my guys, let me ask you. When I ask, it's like, if we can't say for sure that it's an angel, then it's definitely someone acting on her behalf as one. But I'm also being told to tell you, neither here, neither there. It doesn't matter. It's all good.
Okay. All right.
It's all good.
That's how I feel. I don't really need to know who my angel is or my guardian angel is. I don't care. I know that they're there. And that seems to be enough for me.
Right.
But other people, like Johnny, he wants to know, who is it? Who is this angel of his? I feel fine. I feel like I am talking, and I have made such a connection with the son that I had that died at childbirth, dancing around my head and always with me. I feel like I could ask him, who is my guardian angel. Couldn't he tell me?
Absolutely.
Could he tell me this?
Yeah, absolutely. He could tell you. I mean, the best thing though is that when the time is right, and if you are open and meaning you don't have some trauma to clear, sometimes it's just very easy. They'll come to you. I mean, I personally like knowing my guides, because then I can always ask them if it's really them versus me projecting and thinking that. So it allows me to.
Why do you feel that I have trauma that I'm dealing with? Did you feel that in me?
And who remind, because the voices, everybody. Who am I speaking with again?
Barbara, the first one that when we were talking before.
Oh, right. Of course. Yeah, your voice is a little similar to me to your friend Robin. Okay, so does let's see. What I'm being told is that you actually are a spirit. What I'm being told is that you are a spiritual person. You may not be particularly religious, but you do have a strong connection with this like spirit. You really have a strong connection with like the spirit world. Does she need to know? You don't need to know the name of your guides. You don't. It's not that important. It's a personal choice. It really is. But you have a lot of help, Barbara. Like a lot. And part of the reason you've created a name for yourself over the years is because you actually bring a lot of joy to people. And you could say, it's because of the way that you look, but it's not just the way you look, it's your energy. You have really great energy. You're very loving, you're very nurturing, and people, but it's like you can feel it. It's just something, it's you can feel that, and that's something that you want to know about yourself. But but yes, I mean, I do feel like you have been going through a bit of a time. Things have not been running in the way that you've wanted to for a while, but I am being told that the more that you go in, the more that you make a list of what's working in your life, what has worked in your life, and start really looking back on all the amazing things that you have accomplished and done, you're going to heighten your vibration. And by heightening your vibration, you're going to be able to attract more. There's going to be some changes that are going to come your way that are really going to be much better for you. But I'm not going to say that it's going to happen tomorrow. I would say definitely by the fall. It's just right now you need to work on your faith and have trust. And it just here's like 6 months. So just have faith and trust that things are going to get better. And then they will.
Just now, there is a lot of good coming, but just now, in the moment, I was so exhausted because I'm faced with this move, and I look around, and there's so much to do as a mother and a person, and just me taking care of my own self. And then I've got to pack this whole place up, and I look everywhere, and it's just such a mess and so much work. I literally just had to lay down, and then you felt that, but I know I can do it. I'm strong, but I mean, there are moments you just feel like you want to give up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I mean,
that's usually the time you want to. Yeah, that's the time you want to take a bath, or
I
you
think
just,
so.
you know.
I just laid down. I'm done. I think I'm done for today, except for this show. And you're making me very relaxed just talking about angels.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah, things are definitely going to get better for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Well, I'm going to get through this move soon, but then whenever I move, I get there, and it takes me a long time to organize and get settled and get my bearings and get things going, and I don't know if I really have 6 months to do all that, so it's not very encouraging.
Well, you are going to be moving before 6 months, that's for sure. But I feel like there's going to be more monies coming your way and more opportunities coming your way in 6 months. And I think that's a big part of it. And also when you move, the energy is going to be better for you.
Oh, gosh, thank you. That's good to hear. You know what I was just thinking while everybody else was asking their questions? I was thinking, is there any time in my life that there was a guardian angel that saved me before just the recent 2 things here? And I remember years ago, like 27 years ago, I was running down a hill, and it was pouring rain and lightning, and thunder and lightning just roared, and lightning just struck down, and I was just missed by like an inch. I almost got struck by lightning. Yes. Oh, my God.
Amazing.
I mean, I was the only thing running down that hill, so it was supposed to get me. So the law of nature, it was supposed to. So what, do you feel that a guardian angel saved me then?
I heard your guides did save you. I mean, you're supposed to be.
Wow.
Have you thought about writing a book at all?
Well, I've been talking about it, and I write notes. So far, I've just been writing a lot of my thoughts and notes and stories down. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, because you're supposed to be you're going to write a book, and I feel like I'm also being told to tell you, like, don't stress yourself. If you need someone to help you with the book, that's okay. But you have you have a really interesting life, and you've done some interesting things, and people would love to hear about them. So that's another thing that'll be great. Yeah,
that's very encouraging. Thank you. Wow,
you're welcome.
Cool. It's really cool to know that I was saved, because that after I was saved is pretty much when all the really exciting things in my life happened the last 27 years.
Oh,
but
that's
if I was
amazing.
taken at that time, if I was taken at that time, it was like my life just was basically starting as an adult.
Wow. Yeah. No, I do feel like I also feel like you're gonna do some more interesting things to help people. That's the sense I get.
I really am gravitating towards this, and I'm enjoying it so much being a part of the show because it helps people. And I always say, if just one person or one conversation just helps and touches one person, that's worth it to me.
Yeah.
One of the things I love is I always smile when I see like a new post from Barbara, and then I look at the post and it's like, you know, life after happiness. It makes me smile because she did that on her own. I didn't tell her to do that. I mean, you know, and you know, or I'll get a new notice that says new post from in the group from Kelly. You know, I didn't tell Kelly to do that. Kelly did that, and
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh,
Thank you
wonderful.
for noticing, Johnson. It makes him feel good. He started this thing, and then we love it, and we're behind it, and we're wanting it to grow, and it's just every day is great. We're happy. I'm content every day with it because I know it's going to touch people. So that's nice to hear. Thank you, Johnny.
And I love it when
thank
Kelly says that, you know, she looks forward to the shows at night because they make her feel better. That, like, she could have a bad day. Is that true for you too, Barbara and Robin?
Yes.
Definitely.
And Robin
How so?
is always there, and sometimes she doesn't talk or call in, but I feel her presence. And thank you so much, Robin, for just being a loyal listener and just believing in us, and as my friend. And, you know, but we're helping her, too, through this. And she is such a spiritual person. She's growing. She's researching. She's actually a teacher as well. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to be working as hard as Robin. You know, if I were to Robin, I'd be really good at this stuff. So thank you, Robin, for always being there for us since the beginning.
Yeah, I appreciate so much what I'm learning, and thank you. I'm going to say your name wrong now, Pardis. Is that right?
Pardis. Yeah, you got it mostly right. That's great.
Thank you so much, too. This was really enlightening. And if you have suggestions, I mean, Barbara and I had texted her a couple weeks ago to say we should become Reiki masters. So I'm definitely going to look into your classes. But if you have any other resources or references, or I had a friend who was tragically killed back in August, and even trying to, you know, I have been trying to channel him, and I can't say I'm psychic. I mean, I know we all have that ability, and I've had a couple strange moments, but on a hand, you know, I can count on one hand how many experiences I've had that might be slightly psychic. So I'm really, this is the beginning of opening up to all of this, even though I've tried for 20 years probably to have more psychic moments. But I am at the beginning of really digging in and realizing I've got to research this and bring it into my teaching too. I teach kindergarten, and I want to heal my children without them knowing I am, because I know that could be a liability issue.
Well, you know, I mean, you know, it's great. It's like if you do learn Reiki, you can always ask the other soul, you can ask their higher self if it's okay. And then you could, and then, you know, assuming you learn Reiki too, then you can just transmit it to them distance-wise, you know. I mean, there's other ways to go about it. I can tell you more. But I thank you so much for having me on this program, and I really enjoyed it. And if anyone wants to reach me, they can reach me at my website at Pardis Partrow, which is PARDIS, PARTOW.com, or you can reach me on Instagram, which I tend to be on a lot more than anything else, which is Medium Psychic Healer Pardis, PARDIS. And my Twitter handle is my name, Pardis Partrow. And yeah, and so that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pardis.
Well, thanks for
everything. You on
Thank you,
Instagram
everybody.
so people can find her. Thank you so much. That was so wonderful.
Love you guys.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.